Welcome to K-Beauty This or That episode 3. Now, K-Beauty This or That is when we take two Korean skincare products that are pretty similar to each other and we put them in the ring, right? We do a side-by-side comparison, ultimately deciding which one is the best choice for you. Which one should you get, right? This or that. So give this video a big thumbs up because today I'm bringing probably my most requested comparison that I think I've ever gotten. We are going to be doing, wait for it, I'm From Mugwort versus Missha Artemisia Treatment Essence. I've also got an Iunik and Klairs serum showdown for you. Plus we've got classic cleansing balms going head to head, Banila and we have Heimish. So let's get into the one you've all been waiting for, right? Missha Artemisia Treatment Essence versus I'm From Mugwort Essence. So similarities between this one, they both contain 100% mugwort extract and nothing else. Yeah, they're both one ingredient products. Pretty cool, huh? Totally concentrated mugwort. So why do you want mugwort in your skincare? Well, just briefly, mugwort has so many benefits for every skin type. I mean, mugwort is calming, it's soothing, it's anti-irritation. It has a lot of anti-acne benefits too because it's anti-inflammatory as well as antibacterial. Mugwort also has a lot of natural antioxidants in it, which we know can really repair the skin as well as protect the skin. Plus, it's got a good profile of amino acids, which is very hydrating to the skin. Who doesn't want all of those benefits, right? So mugwort is really where it's at with these two products. But that is really the only similarity between these two that I can really find. Believe it or not, because they do seem so similar, but there are some differences that really do set them apart. So let's dive into those. So round one is going to be use and texture. They do have different uses or different spots in your skincare routine. Believe it or not, they are both called essences, but they are used in a different way. The Missha is a treatment essence or a first time essence. This is kind of like an old school K-beauty product. First time essences sort of fell out of style, so to speak, over the last couple of years, but they do seem to be making a bit of a comeback. And this is a first time essence, meaning that it's meant to be used after cleansing, but prior to your toners. So used right after cleansing, this is really meant to deliver a lot of nutrition, benefits to the skin in a really lightweight layer. And they often are meant to help your other skincare layers sort of absorb into your skin a little bit better, kind of enhancing the benefits of all of your skincare routine. So that is really what a first time essence is, and that is how the Missha is meant to be used. Texture wise, this fits into that first time essence sort of texture because it's so watery. It's actually more watery, believe it or not, than a toner. You know how toners are, they're very hydrating, they're watery, but they're usually filled up with humectants like hyaluronic acid or glycerin. That gives it, even if it's super watery, it gives it a little bit more body, right, to the toner. This doesn't have the body that even a watery toner would have. This feels like water on your skin. It's very, very thin. It's very, very lightweight and it absorbs almost immediately into your skin. Now, the I'm From Mugwort Essence is a traditional essence, one that you might be more familiar with. This is going to go after toners prior to serums in that traditional essence step. And as such, this is a much thicker texture than the Missha. This is thinner than a serum for sure, but definitely thicker than a toner. It is very viscous, much, much thicker. And because of that, it doesn't absorb into the skin as quickly. Not saying it's slow absorbing, but just comparing the two, it does take a little longer to sink into the skin, making the difference here between the textures interesting because you can easily use a lot of the Missha. Like, you shouldn't necessarily layer it up, but you easily can put a lot onto your skin because it absorbs so quickly. And I definitely have noticed that with the I'm From Mugwort, you use a lot less due to the thicker texture. Okay, round two, ingredients. Wait a second, aren't they both mugwort? Yes, but there is a difference. Not only has the mugwort been treated differently, processed differently, if you will, but they are also both using different varieties of mugwort, and this does bring out some differences. So first up, the Missha mugwort is actually double fermented mugwort. They have fermented the mugwort extract. So what does that do? Well, fermentation does a couple of things. It definitely ups the antioxidant profile of the mugwort, which already has a lot of antioxidants as it is. But this increases the antioxidants and the amino acids in the mugwort, kind of like supercharging it. Fermentation also helps the penetration of skincare products, which makes a lot of sense for it being, remember, a first-time essence. This is where this really helps aid the penetration of all those skincare products put on top of it as well. So double fermented, and the variety of mugwort being used here is called annual mugwort. This particular mugwort variety is prized for its antioxidant benefits. It's been studied quite a bit in the medical world actually, and it does have a really high antioxidant profile, a little bit more antioxidants than most other mugwort varieties have. So I'm From is not fermented, just heads up, no fermentation on the mugwort being used here, but the variety of mugwort is different. They are using Japanese mugwort, and it makes a lot of sense because Japanese mugwort is a well-known culinary variety of mugwort. This is what's being used in a lot of mugwort dishes that you can eat, including one of the Korean dishes that's really popular. It's a mugwort rice cake. Now, I'm From, just the brand philosophy is really about highlighting Korean ingredients, traditional Korean ingredients, and that's really what the brand is about. So it makes sense that they're using the Japanese variety. Don't get caught up on that. That is the variety. It's not where it's grown. The mugwort that they're using is grown in Korea. A little bit confusing, but they're all about highlighting those traditional Korean ingredients, and this particular variety of mugwort happens to be very traditional to Korea. So bottom line here on round 2 ingredients is that Missha, by fermenting the mugwort, it's going to help speed up the benefits of the mugwort because remember, it's super boosting the mugwort with the fermentation, and the fact that it can penetrate the skin a lot better too means that you're going to get faster results from the mugwort. And the I'm From mugwort is not fermented, so it's going to be a little bit slower to show its benefits to you. Okay, round 3, scent. Now, both of these are unscented. Remember, just one ingredient here, mugwort, but mugwort definitely has its own natural funk, if you will. So first up, Missha. Now the Missha one has a very, very light scent. You got to get really close into it to really smell it. But to be completely honest with you, it didn't remind me of mugwort. It actually reminded me of green tea. It was a very herbally tea scent to it, very, very lightweight. The I'm From mugwort is a much more traditional mugwort smell. Remember, the variety of mugwort that they use in I'm From is that culinary variety. Culinary varieties are going to be more fragrant, more aromatic. They're going to have more going on because they're going to taste better, right? So this one has that traditional mugwort smell. It's very herbally as well as earthy, and I would call this more of a medium scent. Not bothersome by any means, but if you like the smell of mugwort, you're gonna get it from I'm From. Round 4, price and size. These are not cheap essences, you guys. These are pretty expensive when it comes to K-beauty products. So the Missha is 150 milliliters, and this full retail is $45. Now the I'm From is not far off, to be completely honest with you. This is 160 milliliters, and this does retail for $40 at full retail price. So I mean, honestly, yes, you get a little bit more for a little bit less on this one. But let's be real here, we're past the $40 mark on these. It's pretty expensive for both of them. I would say that they're pretty neck and neck price-wise. Okay, this or that, Missha or I'm From. My personal opinion, between using both of these for my skin, I prefer the Missha. I really like this one a lot. Why do I say that? Well, when I first used this one, I felt immediate relief on my sensitive and irritated skin. This gave my skin such beautiful calming benefits. It was actually kind of amazing, actually, to have that very first skincare product just have such an immediate effect on my skin. I also noticed that this had a really good benefit for redness on my skin. This definitely made my skin feel just calmed and soothed. This is something that I relied on a lot for sensitive skincare. I did also notice that this helped when I would occasionally get a pimple. This definitely helped with inflammation, and as I said before, redness. I just noticed benefits on this so quickly. So for me, this really outshone the I'm From, to be completely honest with you, because I'm From is a beautiful essence, but it doesn't have that immediate effect, that immediate soothing, that immediate redness reduction. When I first started to use this, I was a little disappointed, to be honest with you. But as I started to use this regularly in my skincare routines, I was like, this has the same exact benefits as the Missha. It just works slower. And that was really the biggest difference. I did notice that this Mugwort Essence, this one was a little better on active pimples, actually. I just recently had a popped pimple around my nose area, and popped pimples are open wounds, right? I did put a Q-tip that was dipped in this essence just straight on that open pimple, hoping that it would help it heal up and close up sooner. And you know what? It really did. So I was quite impressed with this. Particularly, it stood out in that area for wound healing, in my opinion. But ultimately, this or that for you guys, I think the biggest one that I would say, beyond just which one works faster, because they have the same benefits, one just takes a little bit longer to get you there, right? Beyond that, I would definitely say if you're sensitive to fermented ingredients, this is huge. This difference is huge for you guys. Fungal acne or fermented ingredient sensitive, if you are that person, you have to go for this one. You have to go for this one because it's not fermented. It's not going to bother your sensitive skin. But if you don't have that particular issue with fermented ingredients, I can't recommend the Missha highly enough. This will give you an immediate benefit on your skin. So next up, we have a serum battle. And these are two fairly new, recently released products. This one is from Iunik. This is their Noni Light Oil Serum, as well as the Klairs Fundamental Watery Oil Drop. Now, both of these serums have really similar claims. They both claim to be very hydrating and lightweight serums that deliver the benefits of an oil without any of the drawbacks, without any greasiness, without any shine, without any heaviness on the skin. Both also promise a high amount of antioxidants for your skincare, and both happen to be alcohol, fragrance, and essential oil free. However, again, like the other battle, that is really where the similarities end. So let's get into the differences. Round one, ingredients. Let's start with the Klairs Watery Oil Drop. So this is a watery serum that is meant to have the benefits of an oil, except it contains no oil. What? Yeah, I was confused by that because it says the word oil in it, and there's no oil in the ingredients list. This is really a very hydrating serum that delivers also a lot of moisture to the skin. The goal of this one is really to bring your skin into balance, really balancing out your skin's oil and water mix. So no oil in this one, but it is meant to have like that moisturizing benefit that oil would bring you. Now the Iunik Noni serum, on the other hand, does contain oils in its hydrating mix. So this has macadamia nut oil, argan oil, rosehip oil, jojoba oil, and olive oils in this, but it's still blended into a traditional serum texture that is lightweight and hydrating. Round two, texture. The Klairs Watery Oil Drop is very watery. It's very runny, it's very thin. It's almost closer to the texture of a essence than it is the texture of a serum. This does have a little like slip to it. It does have a little richness when you kind of move it between your two fingers, and you'll definitely feel a little nourishment on your skin as you use it, but it is much closer to a moisturizing serum than I would ever liken it to a light facial oil, to be completely honest with you. This also does create a nice kind of like glass skin glow to your face. It's not shiny by any means, but there is a nice glow to this serum. Now the Iunik Noni Light Oil Serum, this does have some oils in it. So even though it is a very hydrating texture and a very traditional serum consistency, this goes onto your skin like a hydrating serum, absorbs quite quickly, but then once it's in your skin, it feels like you just put on a little bit of facial oil, just a little light facial oil on your skin. So it is quite nourishing on the skin. It does have a little bit more in common with a facial oil than the Klairs does, in my opinion. As far as how it is on the skin, that finish, the Klairs has like that glass skin finish. It has a little glow, but it really doesn't have much finish at all. It really doesn't make your skin shiny. It definitely doesn't make your skin greasy, but it doesn't really contribute to a glass skin appearance either. So this one has a much more neutral finish in comparison. Round 3, size and price. This one's a pretty short one. They're both the same size. They're both 50 milliliter bottles, even though the Klairs appears a little bit bigger than the Iunik. It's just slimmer and taller, but they actually both contain the same amount, 50 milliliters. The Klairs is a little expensive. It's $31 for this serum, and the Iunik is a little bit less. Full retail on this is about $25. So this or that, Klairs or Iunik serums? Well, I think that this definitely comes down to your skin type. The Klairs, I think, being so watery, so lightweight, and not containing any oil, makes this really good for more combination skin types to combination oily skin types. You know, if your skin's a little bit imbalanced, but you have a little bit more oil on your skin, you're afraid to use a straight up facial oil thinking it's going to make you shiny, go for this one. It's super lightweight. That glow, that glass skin appearance that it gives you, it's not shiny, it's not greasy, it's just a really nice glow. And I think that this is going to work with those more combination to slightly oily skin types a lot better. Now, if you have more dry skin, combination dry skin or just straight up dry skin, but you don't always want to go for a straight up facial oil, I think the Iunik Noni Light Oil Serum is really going to be better suited for you because this has more moisture in it than the Klairs does. Between the two, Klairs is far more hydrating and the Iunik is a lot more nourishing, a lot more moisturizing for skin that is in need of moisture. This is going to serve you better with all of those really beautiful antioxidant rich oils that are in this product. So this or that, definitely your skin type. If you need more moisture, go for this one. If you need more hydration, go for this Klairs one. So our final showdown is between two really classic cleansing balms, probably the most popular cleansing balms in the K-beauty space. We've got Banila Clean at Zero and Heimish All Clean Balm. Both of these are cleansing balms meant to be used as the first stage of your cleansing process to help melt down makeup and sunscreen layers to effectively clean those away without stripping your skin of essential moisture and washing away cleanly before you go in for your second cleanser, your foaming cleanser. Now, I just want to make a special note before we get into the differences between these two, because that's really the only similarities here. I want to let you know that I do have the Clean at Zero Nourishing version. There are 4 different versions of the Clean at Zero. The particular one that I have is the Nourishing version, but my research on this was based across all of the different Clean at Zero varieties. So let's get into the differences. Okay, so round 1, ingredients. One thing that I think people really don't like to see in cleansing balms is mineral oil. A lot of people like to avoid mineral oil in their skincare products, often found in cleansing balms, but I'm happy to report that neither one of these products uses mineral oil at all. If you are a longtime K-beauty fan, you may know that Banila actually used to have mineral oil in it, but it no longer contains that. It was recently reformulated and there's no more mineral oil in sight. Now, both of these products are fragranced, but in different ways. The Banila does make use of artificial fragrance or synthetic fragrance. As I mentioned, I do have the Nourishing version. It does still contain fragrance, but I really can't get much of a scent off of this at all. There's really not much here to smell. The original Clean at Zero version, the pink container, does have a little bit more of a noticeable fragrance on it, just FYI. Now, as far as the Heimish is concerned, they don't use synthetic fragrance in the ingredients, but it does have a smell, it does have a scent, and they're using essential oils in this. They're actually using 10 essential oils are found in this one. My sensitive skin is just like, ugh. I particularly have a essential oil sensitivity that just doesn't work well for my skin. So beware if you have sensitive skin. There are quite a few potentially sensitizing essential oils being used in this cleansing balm. Now, also another ingredient sort of like red flag is shea butter. For a lot of you guys, I know that shea butter, especially if you're prone to getting congested or clogged skin, you may want to avoid shea butter. That is found in the Heimish. It's not in the Banila Clean at Zero. I am clog prone. I did use the Heimish All Clean Balm last year, and I didn't have any issues with clogged pores, but if it's something that you like to avoid, just a heads up. Now, my biggest difference with the ingredients list, and one that I really want to emphasize here between the two, is the use of an ingredient called polyethylene. This is an ingredient that really helps with the texture of cleansing balms. This is a microplastic that kind of helps balms keep their shape. It helps them to not melt at room temperature or higher temperatures. It helps them to keep that solid shape and not melt down into oil. It's definitely a texture helper. Definitely not an ingredient that you normally would spotlight. However, polyethylene is related to a kind of no-no ingredient that we may have heard of called microbeads. As you may know, microbeads have been they have been banned in about 11 different countries because they are quite detrimental to the environment. They're really bad for ocean life, and microbeads can kind of get washed down the drain. Now, polyethylene is not a bead. It's very smooth texture. It's a microplastic, but you can't feel like a microbead on your skin. Polyethylene is not banned, but it is related to microbeads, and it actually is shown to have a really bad environmental impact. Basically, the short story of a long story here is that polyethylene gets washed down the drain. If it can get into our water sources, our oceans, it basically acts as a pollution magnet. A lot of pollution will just like cling to polyethylene, where it can then get ingested by fish, which then can become ingested by us. Polyethylene itself is not toxic to human beings, but that's only if you would ingest pure polyethylene. The polyethylene that's getting ingested through the food chain has been completely polluted, right, by all the other yucky stuff that we put into the oceans. That's the main concern here about the polyethylene usage. I'm sure there's other concerns out there, but this is like the major concern, is that it is a threat to us because we're consuming microplastics because of ingredients like this. So polyethylene is found in Heimish All Clean Balm. As I said earlier, Banila has recently reformulated Clean at Zero. It did used to contain this polyethylene ingredient. It no longer contains polyethylene. Now, just a quick word before we move on to round two. If you are a longtime fan of this channel, you may know that I do have a review on the Heimish All Clean Balm. And I did enjoy my experience using this. It was a while ago. Don't at me. Don't at me on this one. My feelings on this have changed. I have documented that in my blog, but just so you know, there is a video floating out there where I say I really like this, and at the time I did, but my opinions have changed, so please treat this as an updated review. Okay, round two, we're going to cover the texture as well as the price and size in this one. So first up, texture. They are both quite similar. I do find that the Banila Clean at Zero tends to keep its balm consistency a little better than the Heimish. The Heimish started off as a thicker balm, but as I used it, it actually softened up over time, which is kind of weird. It still stayed like a balm, but it got a lot softer. The consistency did change on me as I used this. Now, I would say that the Heimish does wash away quite cleanly with water, but in comparison, the Banila actually washes away much more clean. So I definitely think Banila wins out on the washes away clean without any residue. Banila definitely wins out. As far as price and size, the Heimish is a little bit of a better value. Heimish is 120 milliliter container, and this usually retails full retail about $20. Banila, you get a little bit less. This is a 100 milliliter container, and this retails around $25. So this or that, Banila Clean at Zero or Heimish All Clean Balm. Well, I think that this is going to make K-Beauty this or that history. This is the first time that I've ever declared one clear winner. No, if your skin type is this or that, or if you're looking for, no, Banila Clean at Zero is the clear winner in my mind. I think you guys already knew. This is the winner of this showdown. Why? Well, I mean, ingredients definitely are the determining factor for my personal experience, why I choose the Banila over Heimish. But if you don't have that big of a concern over the essential oils or maybe the environmental, the eco-friendly question, putting that aside, if that's not something that is bothersome to you, putting that aside, I just think that the Banila performed better than the Heimish, ever so slightly, but it definitely did edge ahead. The Banila definitely washes away a lot more cleanly, and it does keep its texture. It does keep its texture over time, the consistency, where the Heimish, it definitely did leave a slight residue on my skin in comparison, and I definitely felt like the Heimish changed its consistency. It changed its texture, which wasn't something that I really loved to see in my products. So definitely Banila does edge ahead. It just performs better than the Heimish in my opinion. And this is the winner of our skincare showdown. So I hope you guys enjoyed the third episode of K-Beauty This or That. And what I'm curious to know is, what is the product comparison that you want to see next? Let me know in the comment box below, and maybe, just maybe, it will show up in the next This or That edition. So if you're not already subscribed to my channel, but you absolutely love K-Beauty, please consider subscribing. I release 2 new skincare videos every single week, and don't forget to turn on those notifications so you never miss when I upload the new video. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I can't wait to see you in the next video, and we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.